Dominic Obojkovits, Chief Engineer at Dark Fusion. Dominic's going to be talking about empowering dApps with smart contracts, leveraging Bitcoin and Lightning networks. So let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise for Dominic Obojkovits.
Hello, CryptoFest. So I am Dominic Obojkovits. I'm Chief Engineer, which means that I am a tech guy, and being a tech guy means you're going to get a little bit more of a techie speech from me. So apologies for that. Might get a bit head heavy, but hey, we're going to do what we can. So effectively, I'm here to talk about some very exciting stuff. I'm here to talk about what we're doing at Dark Fusion and what we're doing with simple contract language, which is our smart contract platform that runs on the Bitcoin blockchain and is Lightning Network compatible. Now, that's quite a mouthful and it's quite a lot to unpack, so I thought the best way to climb into this is to really talk about how we got here and a little bit about myself and our team and what brought us to this today. Effectively, I actually come from a gaming background, so my history is in creating video games. I've worked with publishers such as Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. I've brought games to PC, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, anything you can really imagine. If I could run Doom on a toaster, I would. So that's very much my bread and butter. And what has always been a key passion of mine has been ownership of in-game assets and this idea that my time spent in my hobby, playing a video game, is something that I can translate into additional value. And it was through this that we eventually got into a project where we were trying to mint NFTs for our users so they could own their in-game assets, as one does when you're creating video games. And eventually, we minted 2 million NFTs on the Polygon blockchain for 500,000 users and did so in a 6 weeks period. However, we found some serious problems in doing so. The first was that blockchain technology hasn't really managed to scale with the Web 2 requirements of a lot of various applications. So in doing this massive minting event, we actually captured about 10% of Polygon's block space, and we managed to account for about a 43 cents increase in the transaction fees, which obviously put some of our financial modeling on that a bit out of line, long story short. And it was in that we finally realized that, there's definitely an opportunity to try and solve this problem, and we've got a practical use case that we see that we think we can solve, and that brought us to the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And we'd seen what is possible from a speed and scalability perspective on BTC Lightning Network, but what we noticed was there's no way to bring tokens to the network yet. It's Bitcoin only, there's a lot of problems, there's a few liquidity issues. And so we started looking around, well, what token protocols are sitting on the Bitcoin blockchain? Turns out there are a few, but most of them are actually practically abandoned, especially if you look at things like Omnibolt. I mean, most recently we have BRC20, but that's a token protocol exclusively and doesn't actually have access to a lot of the kind of technical requirements that we need. So this eventually led to us building SCL. And what SCL is, and it's a bit of a mouthful here, but it's simple smart contract modeling language. And what it is it is a open source protocol to facilitate smart contract interactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. And we do this by treating Bitcoin UTXOs, unspent transaction outputs, as single-use cryptographic seals. And that's a very unique property of BTC UTXOs. And for that point, any UTXO-based blockchain. Effectively, because the UTXO has the property of a single-use cryptographic seal, you can construct an agreement between parties where breaking the seal constitutes an amendment to the agreement, and then you can reconstruct a new cryptographic seal. And this process suddenly means you can create these finite, deterministic smart contract interactions that enable a lot of really amazing things. So the first amazing thing that you can do with this is you can effectively have a full tokenized protocol with a layer 1 decentral exchange built into the Bitcoin blockchain, and you can scale it using a mechanism we call batching, where you can batch several smart contract interactions into one Bitcoin transaction. And this allows you to scale your token protocols significantly more than any of the current examples. The other aspect is because we use UTXOs to bind the tokens, you can effectively take these bound tokens and put them into Bitcoin Lightning channels. Once you put them in the Lightning channels, you can transact them instantly, and you can do it for 1 Satoshi fee, which is about $0.0002 at the moment. And that really is the bread and butter of how SEL can scale. And What we're doing with Dark Fusion is also very much about empowering developers to use this technology. It's one of our key fundamentals. So what we've done is we've actually ported everything that you can do with an SEL wallet into very easy to use libraries. We've got NPM packages, we've got Unity SDKs, we've got Unreal SDKs. So you can literally go with a couple lines of code, mint some tokens, have it all backed up on the Bitcoin blockchain, everything cryptographically provable, and then if you want to speed things up, you can put them into Lightning channels. And in doing so, we found a solution that solved our gaming problem of how do we move assets around for our gamers and how do we let them trade and do so in a way that A, they own their assets cryptographically, and B, they can transact them really fast. And that really is a solution, and thank you.